I'm Chris, CEO of Saticon. I joined the company in September 2018 with the ambition to further grow and expand the company. Initially on an organic scheme, now we are trying to accelerate the company internationally beyond the normal organic scheme. Digital archiving is the long-term preservation of all type of digital assets in a sustainable and readable way. So it can handle about video, it can handle about images, about documents, about dossiers, about emails, every type of digital assets that you want to retain for a longer period of time, and you want to be able to retrieve it at a later stage, guaranteeing that you found the original authentic information. That's for me digital archiving. There are a couple of compelling reasons to manage digital archiving very well. One of them is a legal aspect, that most assets within a business need to be maintained during a certain duration by law. For example, in Europe, invoices need to be kept for at least 7 years. Next to that, in the digital archiving, the retention of assets can be also determined by company policies. So that's the storing and the secure saving of those assets is a necessity within business. For example, if you talk about government or even heritage usage, then you probably have a retention period forever. You never want to lose it because it's a cultural added value. Next to that is digital archiving helps you also to easily find and retrieve back the information, the assets you have stored, structured information and unstructured information. Structured information is all the data around the asset. Non-structured information is the data contained within the asset. Can be an image, can be text or whatever. You want to retrieve it in a fast and an easy way. Basically, you want to be able in your digital archive, you want to become the chat GPT of your company information. And the third aspect is disclosing of information. You want to be able to disclose information in a controllable way. Controllable, that means who has right to access which type of data or which type of information. One of the bigger use cases we have implemented at this stage is the digital archive of the Flemish government. Digital Archive Flanders handles about archiving all kind of dossiers across all kind of agencies, local authorities and others like cities, like police and so on, in order to archive that. So that's a big challenge in that sense. It handles over 500 organizations at the end. Secondly, they all have different types of information. So you have Flemish government agencies that go about environmental stuff. You have others that go about subsidies and so on. So that means that you need to have a very flexible metadata model in order to be able to capture all that kind of information in a structured way. What are the challenges the customer faced? Well, basically, how do I set up a general system that I can, where the Flemish government became, between brackets, the reseller of the platform towards those different agencies and local institutes. And what was the problem is that, well, there are over 500, I believe 800 even institutes in the Flemish government broader arena. And they all do it their way, despite the regulations, legislations, laws, and so on. So that means that you need to have a very flexible system. The solution we implemented is a multi-tenant platform. Initially started with simply the definition of the classifications and then storing the dossiers according to those classifications. Later on, we expanded it with a couple of things. First of all, it's what we call the analog archive. Because some assets are already digitalized, others not. Those that are not digitalized, you want to find them back too. So how are you able to find them back from a central repository containing the information? Basically, because we added a component which is an analog archive. Out of the eDepot, we can easily find back in which room, in which store, in which drawer certain documents that are not digitalized can be found, and then you can close the loop with the scanning on demand process. Another thing is that within the Flemish government, a lot of documents needs to be signed. That's where we combined with the Assertio solution, set up the digital signing platform, which is integrated with the digital archive, where each document that has been signed throughout the different agencies can be found back in what we call the document safe of the digital archive solution, based on a link with QR code and so on. What are the results? Well, we guarantee that every document can be found back whenever necessary by the authorized persons and only by the authorized persons. In order to expand that reach, we are now busy with a proof of concept together with another company related to pseudonymization, anonymization of documents, because some governments want to be able to put as much as information to the public, but naturally GDPR law and so on prohibits that certain information can be sent to the public. Anonymization or pseudonymization, which are two different forms of wiping out the sensitive data, can help a lot. And like that, the digital archive gets enriched each time. As far as the collaboration between Zetacon and Assertio, as mentioned, we also have implemented the digital signing platform of the Flemish government, which is directly linked with the digital archive. And the added value of that is two things. Signed documents are safely stored in the digital archive, but the whole signing solution from Assertio also enables us to prove authenticity of every document which has been stored.